And now, please welcome Eric Fingerhut, the President and CEO of the Jewish Federations of North America.
It was about a year ago. I had just started at JFNA. We were sitting in the conference room discussing how to make whatever it was we were working on as useful as possible to every federation. Then someone said, "Well, Eric, if you've seen one federation, you've seen one federation." And then everyone laughed, except me. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand the joke. We are very different from one another. The largest Jewish federation in North America, amazingly, has an annual campaign of approximately $200 million per year, an endowment of almost $1 billion, about 400 employees, and serves a community of 1 million Jews. The smallest federation has 1 employee, no endowment, raises about $200,000 per year, 1,000 times smaller than the largest federation, and serves a community of a few thousand Jews. And even among federations of similar size, there are important differences. Some communities struggle with access to basic human needs, while others have more freedom to focus on Jewish life. Some federations have long-standing relationships with Jewish communal agencies through which they deliver services to the community and for which they take financial responsibility. Some of these are even integrated into a single corporate structure. Others run more programs themselves or partner differently with the Jewish organizations in their communities. And yet we are a system, as we have been for a century. If you think about it, how different is this than the Jewish people as a whole? After all, we don't look alike, we don't dress alike, we don't eat alike, we don't pray alike, and yet we are Am Echad, one people, B'nai Yisrael, the children of Israel. The Talmud uses the metaphor of a coin. In those days, coins were individually stamped, but of course they came out looking identical to each other. In contrast, even though all human beings descend from Adam and Eve, God made it so that each one of us would be different, unique. And yet all the people stood together at Sinai and said, Na'aseh v'nishma, we will do, and we will listen. But I couldn't get the joke out of my mind until I had a brainstorm. In today's world, where do we put our most complete descriptions of ourselves, of our missions, of our work? Why, on our websites, of course. So I began a personal project to visit the websites of all 146 federations. What I found was one of the most moving, meaningful, and yes, religious experiences of my life. I found profoundly different communities who share common goals, common visions, and common values. I found common dreams and common challenges, and I found a common sense of collective responsibility for the future of their own communities and of the Jewish people as a whole. Rabbi Sachs reminds us that a leader is one who takes responsibility. I found the leadership of the Jewish people on those 146 websites. Now, you choose different words, but you all say the same thing. You say you are committed to building flourishing Jewish communities at home and around the world. You say that a flourishing Jewish community is one that is healthy, one that is safe, one that is caring, one that is welcoming and inclusive, one that is educated and engaged in Jewish life, one that is active in the broader community, and one that is deeply connected to Israel and the Jewish people around the world. My friends, we have much more in common than we have differences. And when 146 separate organizations spread across a great continent have so much in common, there is an indisputable truth. And that is that as much as each federation accomplishes individually for its community, there is no limit to what we can accomplish for the Jewish people as a whole and the world when we work together. Now, our history proves this to be true. It wasn't one federation alone, but all of us together that welcomed the immigrants fleeing persecution and seeking opportunity. It wasn't one federation alone, but all of us together that raised the funds and partnered with the Joint to save the remnants of the Jewish people after World War II. It wasn't one federation alone, but all of us together who who raised the funds and partnered with the Jewish Agency to help build and sustain the State of Israel and to redeem our brothers and sisters from captivity and danger in the former Soviet Union and elsewhere in the world. And it isn't one federation alone, but all of us, together with all our organizational partners, who are connecting the most diverse generation in the history of the Jewish people to Jewish life, to Israel, to each other. And it isn't one federation alone, but all of us, together with all our partners, who are keeping our Jewish institutions and communal life alive during this global pandemic. So let's replace the joke with a song. Yachad, Lev El Lev, together, heart to heart, Hakol Efshar, everything is possible. Thank you for the privilege of joining with you in this work, and for all you continue to teach me about responsibility and leadership.